this is Charlie from Charlie's Awesome World of Adventures, and today I'm going to give you my review on the 2025 reimagining of Smurfs. In this one, and all the Smurfs are living happily in Smurf Village, except for one Smurf called No Name, because as he's the only Smurf that hasn't found out what his purpose is yet. That is until one day he's able to harness the magical abilities, which captures the attention of God Argamon and his brother Erasmus, or as they use it to capture Papa Smurf. I've so with the help of Smurf and some of the other Smurfs, I've known our name will have to team up with Papa Smurf, our long lost brother Ken, and in order to stop the two evil wizards and save Papa. Now I'll say this now. When it comes to the Smurfs films by Sony, I don't hate them. I rewatched them all before watching this one, and I've got interesting things to say about them. The first Smurfs was just insane. Like I had no idea what was going on. But I guess it was kind of enjoyable. The second film, it was slightly weaker, mainly because it wasn't as insane. But when it did get insane, especially in the end, it was kind of enjoyable, I guess. And when it comes to the third Smurf film, The Lost Village, I honestly thought that one was actually really good. I liked it when I first saw it back in 2017, and I still like it now. Thinking it is a good film. I don't know what exactly happened, but I know between the release of this film and The Lost Village, is that Paramount bought all the rights of the Smurfs off of Sony. So it makes sense that they want to make a movie out of the Smurfs. And when that first trailer dropped, back in February, to say people really didn't like the kid would be an understatement. Seriously, this easily became one of the most hated movies of the year before it even came out. And I'll admit, I wasn't looking forward to this film, even though I enjoyed the others to a certain extent, and no matter if they were good or bad, and I just really didn't think this one was going to be good whatsoever. But of course, also I decided to go in with an open mind, and I think maybe it will be okay. I'm not expecting great, but as long as it doesn't turn out as bad as I'm hoping it to be, it will be okay. So I gave it a watch, and I've got good news and bad news. The good news is it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The bad news is that it's still a bad movie. I guess this won't end up as the worst film of the year, but it will definitely end up as one of the worst for sure. So let's start up with the characters. As well, I hesitate to say that I hate the characters in this film. I find it harder to say that I think any of them are either good, decent, or meh. They're honestly really bland and dull. With not much going for them. If I will get into a positive of them, is that the voice actors actually did pretty well with their performances. Those were definitely some that felt flat. I thought James Corden's Owen was okay, but definitely not his best performance. And the one the marketing has been building up, Rihanna as Smurfette. yeah, she was easily the weakest actor in the film. I mean, they did give her a moment where she had to sing, and that was good. Showed all of her singing abilities well. Oh, but it's the same. Any reason why they casted Katy Perry in the original Smurfs films? Uh, Um, um, well, they just want to famous pop star on to help promote out the film. Um, and her acting isn't good at all. But I will say for most of the other actors, they actually did really well with their performances. If I had to pick my favourite performances, it would easily be John Goodman as Papa Smurf, and Kurt Russell as his brother Ron, of a Ken. And they all did. They both did really good with their characters. And bring into life in a new way. But getting into the characters of some films, even though the film it was marketing Rihanna as Smurfette, the main character would actually be no name Smurf. After Smurf, who at the moment doesn't have a purpose, and tries his best as to find, even when he's giving his magic abilities, he still has little control over them, and still sees himself as a useless Smurf. In short, or he's just a typical protagonist that wants something special, sure, and feels like he stands out in the wrong way compared to the rest of the crowd. As for Smurfette, I do appreciate that they do try to give a connection between her and Owen, of how they have some as it gets into our origins of how she was created by Garmadon. However, even though they mentioned it at the beginning, it feels really forced when they get closer to the end of the feature. So like they had to fall also to oh yeah, now she and No Name have to add a protagonist role. And they can't unless it be a side character. As for the other Smurf, with the exception of Pop for Smurf, who's just the MacGuffin that the characters have to save, the rest of the Smurf have only show their personalities, like sound effects Smurf, grouchy Smurf, vanity Smurf, worry Smurf. Basically, their names just tell you their personalities, and what they're going to be like. As for some of the new characters, as there's Papa Smurf's lost brother Ken, and who seems to know a lot more about the origin purpose of Smurfs. And I do appreciate the addition to its relationship between him and Papa. Not to mention how they give it the back, or that connects them to that other brother Rod. But it honestly feels like on just to give Papa Smurf a character arc of why he wants to protect the Smurfs. And then there are the main wizards and villains of the feature, Geronimo and his brother Gargamel. Now in concept, I do understand what they're trying to do. Paramount already had success as at the end of last year with some on it crew. It would do it between Ivan Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik, and I could imagine that they were trying to do the same thing here with Rosamel and Gargamel. However, their personalities are quite bland, and we got Gargamel's as the assist. isn't that is happy to be connected with Rosamo. Well, Rosamo is the big Igmate, and Fred doesn't care too much about his brother. But Anne wants to use the Force, but or magic book, so he can destroy everything that's good and kind in the world. Next, there's the story. Honestly, at first, the story doesn't seem too bad, alright, but it doesn't seem too good either, as it's the simple, beautiful rescue mission story where Papa Smurf is kidnapped and all the other Smurfs have to rescue him. I don't know if this is just me though, however, but since I watched all the other Smurfs films, it honestly feels like they're trying to repeat Smurfs 2, while one of the main Smurfs is kidnapped by the villains, and it's up to the other Smurfs to go. Fine. Find him and rescue him while hiding in shit. As a result, it makes the story feel easily predictable. Or I could guess everything that was going on from beginning to end. And Anne could tell how the characters would get out of the next sticky situation. But then there's one concept as another film that I think this one was trying to emulate. It's funny how Paramount took the Smurfs eyes off Sony, because this one feels similar to another Sony animation film, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where they're trying to put these Smurfs into the multiverse. Honestly, it has no place in the actual movie. They'll bring it up a little bit, but they don't really develop it until the climax, which I'll admit, from a visual standpoint, it is highly creative. But it doesn't change the fact that it feels unnecessary for a movie like this. Isn't that it just doesn't fit? But I could honestly forgive this movie for all its problems if it was at least funny. One thing I found with the previous Smurf film is that they know they're not good movies. Well, the first two anyway. But they take advantage of it with being absolutely ridiculous with their comedy. Even when the jokes are bad, they're delivered in a way that's absolutely entertaining, that I can't help but get a big laugh at, even if it's unintentional. No, so if this one was at least so bad it's good, with its humour, then maybe I would enjoy this. However, the jokes are either just really bad with that makes you cringe, or just really bland and flat. Maybe there were a few that gave me a couple of chuckles, at most. But for the most part, the humour doesn't really help this film either. But is there anything I can say about this film that's really good? I mean, I already said the voice acting is decent, but is there anything that I thought was done pretty good, at least pretty good? Well, even though this is a bad film, I will admit, for the most part, it is a good-looking film. In fact, I said, I really like what they're trying to do with the animation. They're trying to emulate the style of the original Palo comic, mixing the original the more only cartoon. And it's honestly a style that works well. Making the characters look to definitely CG, but having a bit of hand-drawn textures to pay tribute to their classic roots. oops, I'll also give credit that they actually go smooth with their character animation. It's not too over the top, and it doesn't feel too crazy. They just take the movements of the Smurf and emulate them that fit this film quite well. Oh, the backgrounds are also really good. This is especially the case with Smurf, our village. It stays true to the original design, but the textures actually make it look like a storybook coming to life. I feel like this is a real fantasy fairy tale. Being portrayed for its feature. But then there is one thing that had me really concerned and we're watching the trailers, and that is that the film is going to be a live action animation hub. And honestly, after watching the film, I had no idea why they decided to put live action in the film. Other than Smurfs, all the main human characters are animated, and most of the backgrounds in the work are like and tied out or Rosimo's castle, or are animated. As a result, it makes the live action scenes feel utterly pointless. As where they have no point of being in this movie whatsoever. But this is why I have to take points off the animation. If this film was fully animated, then I don't think this would be much of an issue. But because they wanted to add a bit of live action, and it didn't make sense to be a live action film in the first place, that's why I'm being a bit harsh on it. But then there is the clown. It's something that I haven't brought up yet with the animation, or the song, and that is the musical numbers. But yeah, since Rihanna's in this film, you think that this one's going to be a musical, and it was definitely promoted to be one. And yeah, where is this as a musical again? And don't get me wrong, there are songs in this feature, and for the most part, the ones we get are pretty decent. But those are only 2 songs. It's not like a jukebox musical like the Trolls film. And it's not. I like a bit musical film with lots of all new original songs like we got recently with K-pop Demon Hunters. It just has Rihanna in it with 2 songs. However, even though there are only 2 songs in the feature, I will admit the animation in those moments and still help make those moments feel creative. And like I said before, even though they're not great, the songs are quite decent, and you're definitely not the worst thing to come from this movie. So overall, I guess this wasn't as bad as I was thinking would be, but that doesn't change the fact that this isn't a good film whatsoever. For Smurfs, it's just what you'd expect, but slightly better. But slightly not as bad as you think. As it's just a pretty dull and generic anime feature, there are definitely some good things about it, like some solid voice acting and pretty good animation. But they cannot make up for this film's story, a pointless multiverse concept, live action that doesn't really need to be in the feature, and dull and bland characters. I guess if you're a huge die-hard Smurfs fan, and then you might get a bit of enjoyment out of this. But for everyone else, you're not missing out on anything if you choose to skip this one. And and I was expecting myself to be really angry about this film, and hating it, calling it one of the worst of the year. Yeah. However, that's not what I got. And while I'm happy it's not as bad as I thought it would be, it doesn't change the fact that it's still a pretty bad film. And that's why I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!